Good afternoon, everyone. This is Carrie Meltzer, the LI weather guy. Here's an afternoon update on the future of Winter Storm Linus as it impacts our area right around the second half of the Super Bowl and into overnight on Monday. This is a live radar of the United States. You can see the system right through the center of the country, and it's starting to form a pretty big precipitation shield, which will start to head over to the east as high pressure from the north squeezes it to the north and forces it off to the east. But I basically want to show you why we've been having such a hard time with this. This is an upper air 500 millibar map. This is this morning's Euro. Shows you the cutoff low over the Baja California. Now, models had a little bit of a hard time determining how strong that low would evolve, as they normally do with upper level cutoff lows. But what's happening here, as you can start to see in the Rockies, is we're getting this lowering of the 500 millibar heights over the Rockies, and what that's going to allow is for that moisture transport to ride up north along that trough. And the models have been coming in a little bit stronger lately. So this was the last run of the Euro versus this one. You can see that trough is a little bit deeper this time, last versus present. Okay, on every aspect of this, that trough gets a little bit deeper, all right, as we go in time, because it's finally resolving the moisture issue with this cutoff low. So we're getting a little bit more moisture than originally anticipated. It's riding a little bit further north in the center of the country than originally anticipated. Okay, now the next feature is the former winter storm Carrie. Now, you didn't realize it was a winter storm because we just got a quick dusting to up to 2 inches of snow on Friday morning. But as that system departed the area, it pretty much blew up over the Gulf of Maine, and now it's going to be pulled in to this steering Arctic low. We can watch that developing over time. See, it's kind of being pulled in and strengthening this low. Versus the last run of the Euro, you can see that that low right over here is not quite as strong because the models were having a little bit of a hard time figuring out what to do with this piece of energy. Last run, this run. Last run, this run. So while this low is sort of absorbing the former winter storm Carrie, and the models are hinting at a little bit less of a nosing of the cold air into the leading edge of the system that would have suppressed or squeezed the system to the south. Hence why the system over the last few model runs has been trending further north. However, I do think the models have worked it out where the system is finding that warm air to ride along, and unfortunately for Long Island, it does mean that we're going to be riding that line of rain, snow, freezing rain, sleet. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be looking at a pretty serious ice storm right now. So this is the surface map of that Euro, where you can see right here, I'll zoom into New York, but we're going to be riding that line as soon as it loads. Okay, here's our 32-degree line. So south and east of this, we're looking at a lot of rain mixing in, or a full change over to rain, but right in between, I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of ice. To show you here, this is the surface temperatures. So this is kind of going to be a line where this is 1 p.m. and we're starting to see an ice line to the west of that area and more liquid precipitation to the east of that area. Going up in the elevation a little bit, 925 millibars. A little bit more of that warmer air seeping in, and 850 millibars. This is roughly 5,000 feet up. We have that warm layer, and what that's going to do is melt down all that snow that's falling And when it gets down to the surface here, these areas will see freezing rain. And areas to the east of this line here will see plain old rain, maybe some ice pellets, maybe some freezing rain mixed in there, but this is pretty much going to be our rain-snow line. And models are just kind of working out right now the exact area where that rain-snow line will be. Just to show you how difficult this forecast is going to be, here is the Euro snowfall depiction. Look how hard it drops off just to the south. While we are in the 8 to 10 range on this map, and I do think that that's still a little bit on the beefy side, you know, just a little bit of a northward trend over the next 24 hours could really cut down these totals. Moving on to the GFS. Takes a very similar track. Okay, upper air, same, very similar. The moisture transport is riding up north over the Rockies, taking that north track. And this is the ensemble mean. A run of, I believe, 22 ensemble members, all different computer simulations that all take different key factors into play when determining a forecast. This one keeps the center of circulation at 7 in the morning. You can see it right here around over Pittsburgh. Versus this is the Canadian, same model, and it's a little bit further south, a little bit slower. That would keep a little bit of a colder solution. This is the regional Canadian model. We're coming into the range of that model. Only goes about 48 hours out, so this is at the max 48 hours out, brings us to 7 a.m. Monday. And at that time we're seeing a lot of snow changing over. Here's the changeover. This is where this model thinks the rain-snow line will develop right around the daybreak time. Not freezing rain in this model just yet, but it's all coming right around daybreak. And the UK Met from last night, again showing you just how tight this forecast can get, with parts of the South Shore on this model only getting about an inch, while parts of the North Shore 6 inches. So I think a good average is going to be 3 to 9 inches. I know that's a huge range. However, that's just the way this storm is going to set up. So you really, it's kind of a worst case scenario, because we're going to see a lot of ice out of this storm. It's pretty much worse than snow. What I think is going to happen is, just as the Super Bowl is ending, snow moves into the area. It's going to make travel a little bit difficult heading home for the Super Bowl, but then it really picks up in intensity overnight, and especially towards daybreak. That's when decisions are going to have to be made. Some parts of the island are going to have already been changing over to freezing rain, maybe a little bit of rain, especially on the east end. And some parts of the island will still be getting heavy snow. You might see some cancellations. You might see some only some delays. That depends again on the exact setup here. But I think if we get the full ice storm scenario that this is looking like right now, we're just going to be shut down. This is the National Weather Service. Now this map was made after last night's models, so you're going to see some changes to this. This was made at about 4:30 in the morning. But this is the ice, just the layer of ice that it was already looking like back then. I think these totals are gonna have to be bumped up a little bit. And this, you can see it right here. This graphic was made at 4:05 in the morning. Mostly 6 to 8 inches, some 8 to 10, but you're gonna start to see on the next maps, this area is gonna tighten up. It's gonna be a very tight snowfall gradient, where we could see, like I said, about 9-10 inches on the very North Shore, but we could only get 1 to 3 inches. Basically, the bust potential is climbing on this storm as far as snow totals go, but the danger potential is also climbing as far as ice. So another forecast will come out tonight, this afternoon with the models. We'll start to hone in on it a little bit more, but the northward trend in those models seems to be slowing down now. The NAM has backed off that northward trend. So I think this is about where we're going to settle in, where Long Island is facing a very icy situation. Alright, sorry to bore you for such a long period of time. That's it. I'm the LA weather guy. Have a great day and get ready for it.